And going back to the dollar and where it's going, they're going to be lowering interest rates. I mean, the only reason the dollar is strong is because of the high interest rates. I mean, how could it be strong when you have, what, $35 trillion of debt? You got, what, we're growing $1 trillion every 100 days? Oh, and you have these high interest rates, so you're paying more on your debt? So they're going to lower interest rates. The lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. The deeper the dollar falls, the higher gold prices go up. They're going to do everything they can not to have a crisis before the election. That's guaranteed. But whether or not they can do it is a guessing game.
Gerald Celente is a prominent figure in the world of trend forecasting. As the founder and director of the Trends Research Institute and publisher of the weekly Trends Journal magazine, he has been providing insights into global financial markets and significant macro and geopolitical events for over 3 decades. His predictions often attract attention, although they can be somewhat controversial. Recently, Gerald's outlook has become even more pessimistic due to what he perceives as gross mismanagement by global leaders. For instance, he has expressed concern about the impact of high interest rates on the U.S. economy, which has led to declines in homes sales and a brewing crisis in the U.S. banking industry. In a recent interview with Daniela Cambone on The Daniela Cambone Show on ITM Trading, Gerald sounds the alarm about another widespread crisis in the U.S. banking industry, which he warns will be as bad as, if not worse, than the 2008 Great Financial Crisis. According to Gerald, the U.S. government and regulators are struggling to keep the situation under wraps to save face until the presidential elections in November. Gerald warns that mainstream media is complicit in this grand deceit, as they keep featuring useless news articles to throw the public off about what's really happening to the U.S. economy. Gerald believes the scheme will soon shatter, and the public will become fully aware of the true state of the economy. When that happens, the trend forecaster predicts that the dollar will undergo severe declines and gold prices will soar. Gerald sees the precious metal hitting an all-time high of $3,000 and above before the end of the year. In today's video, we feature some clips from Gerald's interview with Daniela. As we present the clips, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more videos like this. Thanks for the support and enjoy the video.
They're going to do everything they can not to have a crisis before the election. That's guaranteed. But whether or not they can do it is a guessing game. Even when you're looking at the official numbers coming from the feds, you're looking at about 22 banks that are facing problems. Other data is showing up to almost 300. Again, barely being reported, and you're having one default after another, hardly being reported. And now let's go back when they dumped all this money into when Trump and Biden dumped all this dough into the system to artificially prop up the economy when the COVID war, when they locked down everything. Your interest rates are at 0. So now the banks own all these worthless treasuries. So they don't have the money to cover the defaults on the loans. There's going to be a crisis, and we're saying, again, you know, one of our top trends for 2024 was a golden year for gold. As we're speaking, gold is, what, $2,360 an ounce. It's up over $300 an ounce since we made that forecast. Gold could very well hit $3,000 an ounce this year. Before I came on with you, I wanted to see what one of the headline stories was on CNN. The son of Asia's richest man is getting married in one of India's most lavish weddings of the year. What the hell are you telling me this crap for? What's going on in Ukraine? What's going on in Russia? What's going on in Lebanon? What's going on in Iran? What's going on in Israel? The Taylor Swift, you know, this is the crap they're putting out. What the hell do I care? Some clown getting married in India. Why, he's rich, and you should know that. People don't have a clue. So going on, World War III's already begun. We forecast World War III. You go back to our Trends Journal magazine 2 days before the Russian invasion. from COVID war to Ukraine war to World War. And now what's going on with the Israel war, ramping it up against Hezbollah in Lebanon. And what did Iran say? You attack Lebanon and you go after Hezbollah full force, we're going to wipe you out. Love it, hate it, agree, disagree with anybody you want. That's not what we do. We just put down the facts and give you the implications. There is going to be oil prices. You're already looking now at Brent crude. It's almost $86 a barrel. Oh, it just moved up, about another $5 a barrel. They go to war with Iran. You're going to see oil prices go to Belva. And they're going to keep launching more and more attacks against Russia because the United States and NATO gave them more weapons to go deeper into that. They're going to be attacking oil fields, refineries, pipelines, etc. You're going to see oil prices could go up to $130 a barrel. And that's going to crash global economies and the equity markets. And again, the banking crisis is going to crash global equity markets and the economy. Again, and these are realities. These are in front of everybody's eyes to see. But again, we got to know, who's having sex with who and what are the rich people doing.
During his interview, Gerald explains that we are currently witnessing the consequences of various governments' responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. Unchecked money printing, obstinate inflation denial, consistent data manipulation to fool the populace, and every other part of the political games they continue to play to keep the population under control. At first, they deliberately kept rates low for years, despite several warnings about the dangers of doing so. Then, they let inflation run amok until it was too late to control it without hardworking Americans paying a very costly price. Over the past few months, the same Fed has remained absolutely resolute about keeping rates high for as long as possible until it achieves its 2% interest rate target, regardless of the cost to Americans. Gerald points out that there is a huge disconnect between the ruling class and citizens, which they repeatedly show through their ignorance about the true state of the economy and the general state of affairs.
Look, you look at the data. 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. An article just came out, just recently about the housing issues.
Yes.
You got the price of homes went up since the COVID war began 47%. Then you look at the numbers here, and this is according to Redfin, or ATOM, ATTOM, examined 572 U.S. counties and determined that median price homes in about 80% of those areas are out of reach for the average income earner. Major home expenses on typical homes sold during the second quarter required an annual income of $90,598. So $91,000, and you're looking at the average income of $71,000. Again, and then you look at inflation. When I was a young guy, man, one of my first real jobs, I was making $31,000, and that was good money.
Yeah.
And I said, no, the whole thing has gone down. And again, you want to look at the presidential reality show? How about all the inflation that these two clown boys created? With Trump, the deficit went up like $4 trillion under him, or $3 or $4 trillion under Biden, dumping all this free money in to fight the COVID war. Stay in your house, close down your business. Here's cheap money. Bring those interest rates down to zero. Can't understand why we got inflation. America's gone the way of the country that we fought against back in the Revolution. Sun never sets on the British Empire. We fight wars all over the world. Oh, yeah, then you had World War I, and the pound went dead because you kept fighting these wars. The same things happened to America. The trillions and trillions of dollars going to fight wars as the country's rotting in front of our eyes. I mean, you live in New York City. I went down to the city 2 weeks ago. I used to live down in West Village. The West Village is one of the hottest spots around. Now I see guys like this, all drugged out, watching guys shoot up. Everywhere where they're doing construction and they have their scaffolding over there, all underneath it, all homeless people.
Oh, yeah.
Roads are rotted in front of us. How about the train system in America? Isn't it great? The New York subways are not in Calcutta. Amtrak is crap track when you go around the world and you see the high speed rail. The country is rotting in front of everybody's eyes. And if you're too deaf to see it, all you had to do was turn on the presidential reality show and see the clown show that we had called a debate. These are the people running the country. They're out of control morons and imbeciles that have destroyed what used to be the land of opportunity. Oh, how about the Vanguards and the Black Rocks and the and the State Streets that own what? Together, the largest shareholders of 40% of all U.S. companies and 88% of the S&P 500. That's according to a study done that was reported in Business Insider. Once upon a time, this used to be the land of opportunity. Oh, you want to talk about the equity markets? The gang is running it in front of everybody's eyes. What land of opportunity?
Gerald Celente predicts a severe 2008-style banking crisis in the United States after the presidential elections in November, and urges investors to consider taking their wealth out of the system as soon as possible before shit hits the fan. One way to do this is to invest in physical gold and silver. When the inevitable collapse begins, these assets will provide a safe haven for you and your loved ones. A Fed pivot is also imminent because of the government's massive debt load. This will also contribute to significantly higher prices for gold and silver in the near future. Please share your thoughts on Gerald Celente's interview and predictions for the US economy and gold in the comments section below. It really helps with the algorithm so our videos can reach more viewers. Also, ensure you share and like this video to warn others and subscribe to the channel for more like this. Thanks for watching.